This video is brought to you by hoodbeast.com. Design your own custom hoodies. hoodbeast.com. We are beast.
Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee, and welcome to day 41 of the 2017-2018 NBA season. Not much happened yesterday, but still, let's get into the stuff that did go down. Lego. Man, who talks about the Memphis Grizzlies? Not anyone really. When they're doing good, no one bats an eye. And when they're doing bad like now, still no one bats an eye. For a team that's been a good playoff team for what seems like forever now, to be on an 8-game losing streak and have only won 1 game in their last 10 games and still no one even talks about it, they're one of the few teams in the NBA that can fly that far under the radar. And that's because unless you're a hardcore Grizzlies fan, you don't have any reason to be watching this team play. The style of basketball they play just isn't very entertaining for most NBA fans. But all that aside, we do kind of gotta talk about them today. Now, I will start off by saying by the current skid they are on is mostly due to Mike Conley being out with a sore Achilles tendon, but still, they are losing to teams that they should be able to beat despite the fact that they don't have Mike Conley. A couple of games ago, they lost to the Dallas Mavericks, and now last night, they lost to the Brooklyn Nets. And it's to the point now where you have to ask, is it finally time for Memphis to start the rebuilding process? To me, look, I view the Grizzlies kind of like how I viewed the Hawks before this year. They would always make the playoffs, but that's about it. You never expected them to go that far once they did make the playoffs. And with their struggles early on in the season, it's looking like this might be the year that they don't make the playoffs. But once again, even if they do scrape in as the 7th or the 8th seed, what's the point? I just can't see them ever winning with the core they have right now of Conley and Gasol, even if those are 2 really great players. I think they need to use the fact that they have 2 really great players on their roster to their advantage by seeing what their market value is to some of these other teams. Gasol, he's already getting upset with the Grizzlies after their loss last night. He was benched for some reason the entire 4th quarter, and after the game he kind of opened up about not being too happy about it.
Coaching staff thought that they had a better chance of winning the game without me. Obviously you get frustrated, you take it personal. At the same time, you got to think about your teammates that are out there, and you got to cheer for them. And that's you know, you have 2 options at that point. You gotta be, you know, you can start pouting and be negative. Obviously, you know, you get frustrated, and I did get frustrated and mad and start wondering. At the same time, I see, you know, my teammates and my friends, the guys that I work with out there, trying to get a win. And I'd rather, you know, try to focus on the positive of that, and to see them struggle and not being able to help them. Makes your mind go to the negative side, so you try to bring it back in. So it's a tug war on your mind, trying to, you know, stay positive. It's a situation that I'm not used to, that I don't want to get used to, ever.
The guy is a flat out amazing teammate. What he basically said was, I was trying not to be mad because I was trying to be supportive of my teammate. But this coaching staff, they garbage, and they lucky that I don't go after them like Giannis went after his coaches a couple of days ago. I mean, when he was asked if there were any problems with the coaching staff, the man hesitated before he answered the question. And when he did answer the question, he just diverted the question and said something along the lines of, we gotta work with what we got.
Do you have faith in this coaching staff? Facing the coach staff, there's no other way. I mean, we have to play. They cannot help you.
Man, Marc Gasol isn't happy, and I know tons and tons and tons of teams in the NBA would love to be able to pry him away from the Memphis Grizzlies. Mike Conley too. Those are just 2 great teammates and 2 great all-around players. They know how to win games, and they will be phenomenal additions to most NBA teams. As for the Grizzlies, I seriously think it's time for them to rebuild. Move Mike Conley, move Marc Gasol. They're stuck with Chandler Parsons because ain't nobody taking that contract. But with Marc Gasol only having 1 guaranteed year left on his deal after this season, he has a player option after the 2019-2020 NBA season. Since he does obviously care so much about winning, would it be that hard to imagine him declining that player option to go somewhere else where he has a chance to compete for a championship? I don't think it would. So why not see what you can get for him right now? Because if this keeps up and the Grizzlies don't start winning very soon, and a lot of games very soon, to make up for this 8-game skid they're on before the trade deadline, time. I for sure think we will start to hear Marc Gasol's name pop up in trade rumors, and I don't think it's too hard to imagine that he could be traded. And if he gets traded to the right place, to the right team, that could cause a huge power shift in the NBA. Imagine if Marc Gasol somehow ends up on the freaking Cleveland Cavaliers. The Golden State Warriors already have a hard time beating the Memphis Grizzlies just because of Marc Gasol. If he goes to the Cavs and teams up with LeBron, I think people will have to think twice and then think again after that before they put the Warriors as the favorites to win the championship this year. Boston and Milwaukee would also be pretty interesting destinations too though. Jimmy Butler put the Wolves on blast for not playing any defense in their last game. So if they were to lose this one to the Suns without Devin Booker, I can't even imagine what might have went down, what he might have said. Luckily though for the Wolves, that didn't happen. They got the 119-108 win over Phoenix thanks to Karl Anthony Towns and his 32 points and 12 rebounds. And look, Towns has been catching a lot of flack from some people so far this season. He's only averaging around 21 points and 11 rebounds per game compared to the 25 points and 12 rebounds per game that he put up last year. He's having a down year stat-wise, but it is easy to see that the drop in his numbers is most likely because he's trying to sacrifice for guys like Jimmy Butler and Jeff Teague while still trying to let Andrew Wiggins get his touches. And that's where the Wolves are as a team right now. They haven't figured it out yet on offense or on defense 20 games into the season. Now you would think they might have gotten a hang of it or gotten closer to getting a hang of it by now, but just remember that Towns and Wiggins are still both really young players. It might take a while longer than it did for like Miami back in the day. Wade, Bosh, James were all vets by then and really good friends on top of that, so it only took them around 15 to 20 games to figure it out. And to be honest, it might take the Wolves most of, if not the entire season, just to start living up to their potential as a team. And even then, the best will still be yet to come. It's gonna take time, it's gonna take patience. Is it safe to say this was by far the worst first quarter the NBA has ever seen in recent history? I didn't watch it, but just looking the box score and seeing what the score was, I'm glad I didn't watch it either. 13-7 was the score after one. 13-7. I can only imagine how upset people were that actually paid to go see that game. Then again, why would you pay to go see the Bulls versus the Miami Heat if you live in Chicago? Why would you do that? After the lowest scoring quarter in franchise history though, the Miami Heat did bounce back to have a pretty high scoring second quarter led by the guys off the bench, and it resulted with them coming away with the 100-93 win over the Bulls. Miami's bench scored 54 points on the night while Dragic was the only starter for the Heat who could make a shot as he had 24 points on the night. That wraps up all the action though. You guys can go vote for the player of the day by following the link down in the description box below. Just remember that only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, you guys selected James Harden and his 37 points and 10 assists as your player of the day. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more daily NBA news and highlights. But until tomorrow, keep getting the bucks, Team STC, and I'm out of here.